Hasbro has given us another repaint. Here's my surprised face. This time it's the Black Series Stormtrooper helmet painted in the deco of the Artillery Trooper helmet. And although only on scene for mere seconds in The Mandalorian, this guy already has a hot toy, this helmet, the Vintage Collection figure, and a Black Series figure. Did I buy all that stuff, you may ask? Well, yeah, I'm a sucker for everything Trooper, and Hasbro seems to know it. Anyway, let's get a look at this latest helmet and compare it to the original TK Stormtrooper helmet that was released quite a while ago. Did they improve upon the old design or just slap some paint on it and call it good? Let's get into this. All right, welcome to another episode of Paul's Collectibles. It's good to have you. Thanks for joining me. Today we're looking at the Black Series TK Stormtrooper Artillery Stormtrooper helmet that was announced in May at Star Wars Celebration 2022. I'm most interested in seeing if they improved upon the previous helmet or if they gave us just another silly repaint like the Incinerator Trooper and the silly weathering that was on that helmet. And then I'll compare it to the one I custom painted and we'll see which one we like better. First off, did they give us the new style box unlike the square box the old TK Stormtroopers used to come in? Second, is it packed better than the old TK Stormtroopers, which they used to just throw in the box? Let's see. Well, unlike the 3 pieces they used to come in, this one looks like it came in 2 pieces. Now let's get those pieces together, throw it in front of some lights, and take a look at it. Okay, so as you saw, it came in 2 pieces this time instead of 3. It looks like these 2 bottom pieces were already put together when I got it out of the plastic, so I just had to mash the dome piece down on top. So, putting it together very quickly. That's different from the other TKs. They came in 3. So let's take a look at this weathering, and it's exactly as I feared. If you remember the Incinerator Trooper helmet, it was terrible. It had this very silly weathering and it just looked dumb, like somebody had painted it on or something, but not done a very good job, and I don't even know how to describe it. This is similar to that. It's not quite as bad. As you can see, it's not like rips in the paint here. It's actually somebody has painted white over top of this yellow, and it's not as bad as the Incinerator Trooper helmet, but it is still kind of silly looking, especially since the rest of the helmet has no weathering on it whatsoever. And if you look on the dome, it's just like little white marks, so it's almost like there's flaws in the painting as opposed to any sort of weathering, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, once again, the overall construction of this helmet, especially for the price you pay, good sturdy plastic, good sturdy lenses. Everything is 3-dimensional, cut in here. Sounds like a comb here. This is the button for the voice changer, which we'll get to in a minute. It's very symmetrical. The brow line is very, very well done. Everything in here is painted in and feels very good. These are 3-dimensional as well. So the exterior of the helmet, as far as solid, like playability, wearability, especially if you're going to give this like a younger kid or something, nice and solid, nothing you'll have to worry about. But that weathering, yeah, that's just silly once again. And these, of course, they feel like metal. This is done very well, as you've seen in my previous videos as well. Overall, the look of it, as far as the quality, very good. Now, as I mentioned, and I'm very disappointed to be perfectly honest with you, this is the button for the voice changer. That's not too bad. They've camouflaged that pretty good, and it seems like it's part of the helmet. But when you get around here, they didn't change that, unfortunately, at all. That's the battery pack, and that's the speaker. And it really, and I get it, it's a toy, but it really makes the Stormtrooper helmet look really silly, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, it's just completely gaudy. And I've seen lots of videos of people where they fill those in and they change them, but that's just, I was kind of hoping they would improve upon that, but that's terrible, and that's still there. Let's see if they've improved the interior any, and as you can see, they have not. Since they started making these TK Trooper helmets, the original Stormtrooper helmet, they have improved the interior of their helmets in general as far as the rest of the Black Series line goes, with padding, better webbing up top for your head, fake electronics inside, but they did not do that. They just simply recast, remolded, and used the same parts that they've used from the previous TK Stormtrooper helmets. Now, overall, not bad. This thing up here is ridiculous. It's uncomfortable. It's made out of like a rubber. It's adjustable, but it's certainly nothing to get excited about. It does have the nose cup as usual, and there's the mouthpiece for the voice changer. So, like I said, it's not horrible, but they've done so much better, and I was hoping they would take the opportunity to maybe improve this Stormtrooper helmet a little bit on the inside, but as you can see, they did not. But overall, it's a good looking helmet. I'm happy to have it. It's just, like I said, the weathering is silly. It's nothing to get excited about. The construction is the same, basically, that they've always done. So this is, for all intents and purposes, with just a little better packaging and a newer box, the same TK Stormtrooper helmet we've been getting since they started making this. But if you've made it this long, let's compare it to my custom TK Artillery Stormtrooper helmet to see which one we prefer. Now on the left is an artillery Stormtrooper helmet that I custom painted and custom weathered to be an artillery trooper long before this one was introduced by Hasbro. So let's take a couple of the key differences that you can see in the job that I did as opposed to what Hasbro did. First off, as you can tell right off the bat, I didn't put any weathering in my yellow because I loved the yellow so much that I really didn't want to mess it up. So I weathered the rest of the helmet, and this has the silly weathering. The colors of the yellows are slightly different too. This is marigold yellow spray paint on here, and this is whatever color they used. It doesn't say on the box. And as you can see, mine has a kind of a gloss and a high sheen to it, and this one does not. And if we turn them to the side here, you can see some of the weathering that I did around the brow. The artillery Stormtrooper helmets came with like this reddish brown on them, and so I kind of tried to go along with that, but I added weathering in here on the places where soot and dirt would naturally settle. I took a Sharpie marker to the top of it, and I did some skips and bumps, maybe from some laser bolts or some rocks that were thrown at him or something like that. I took some other black Sharpie and I went around and I just gave it a little bit of character. And on this one, like where he would have bumped it into a rack, putting it away and things like that. And of course, this one has that same silly voice changer because that's the artillery Stormtrooper had that. But it's basically the same exact helmet, but this is the custom and this is the one that Hasbro sent. Now, if you'd like, please take a moment and tell me down below which of these two helmets you would display if you were me. Hashtag custom, hashtag Hasbro for your vote, and I'd love to get some input because at this point I'm only going to display one of these and I have to decide which it's going to be. But with that, I appreciate you joining me, taking a look at these two artillery Stormtrooper helmets, the Hasbro and the custom. And if you're not a subscriber, maybe consider doing that for me. That's a great way to support my efforts here at Paul's Collectibles. I speak English and I used to speak English for a living. And if you're a longtime viewer or already a subscriber, you know I greatly appreciate it. But with that, I'll see you on the next video.